I just wanted to give everybody a tip on this one subject because I'm finding that a lot of agents I talk to are not really understanding how much of a gold mine this is. Basically, we are relevant again. You can call up your friends and you can tell your friends, your clients that, when they are ready, or, if they're not ready now, when they are ready, the game has changed. Redfin, Zillow, those websites are now obsolete because of this new feature. What we're doing here in my team is we're tracking these properties now, these coming soons, and so we're getting people in before everybody else. Maybe not before it goes active because that's against the rules. However, we are first in line. We're ready to put in an offer. And so it's really changed the game. About six out of the last seven properties that we've put into escrow on the buyer side, we've been tracking the coming soon. So if for anything else, it's just a reason to call your clients, tell them of the change, let them know that your job is secure for a while. So this is really good news for real estate agents. And clear cooperation policy pretty much paved the way for this. And so which a lot of people were bagging on that policy, but it really is in the best interest of our clients to be using the MLS and cooperating with other agents to find the best sales price, the highest sales price for the seller, because that's our fiduciary duty. So, all right, so let's go ahead. Enough about that. If anybody has any questions on any of that, feel free to reach out to me on Workplace afterwards. All right, so let me just pull up everything on my end here. So I have my presentation in front of me. And hopefully everybody walks away with a really good system for helping their buyers. So give me 1 second. All right, we are going to go ahead and get started, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with some housekeeping, some general housekeeping. So please be sure to have your mics muted and use the chat box anytime with any questions. Raise your hand is fine too. I'm happy to make this a little interactive. There is a lot of material to cover, so I will go through it as quickly as possible. But again, if anybody has questions, you can reach out to me anytime on Workplace. Happy to set up a call and happy to help you with whatever questions you might have. So let's see here. You can also utilize the screen zoom. So if you want to see what's on the screen, feel free to do that. And then, so a little bit about me. So I am happily married for about 17 years now, and been with my wife almost 20 years, and I've got two great kids. I got into real estate back in 2002, got my broker's license in 2005. I have put a lot of time, energy, and effort into the coaching side of this business, learning as much as I can. I basically went out and hired the best coaches, the most expensive coaches, and really dived into their systems to absorb everything that they were teaching. And then I have basically taken all of that and melted everything together into my own system, because that's just who I am. I got to always do things my way. I have to be different. I think in this industry, we have to be different to separate ourselves from the thousands and thousands of agents in your local market. I do run a small team here in San Diego, and I've always kind of worked 30 hours a week was always my target, and doing anywhere from 40 to 45 million per year. Very consistent year after year after year. I don't like having a bad year in real estate, but I also don't want to work 100 hours a week, to make it to the big numbers that I know some teams out there do, ridiculous amounts of volume. For me, that's never been my goal. My goal has always been just really performing at a high level, building a solid business that people call me. I don't call them. Don't get me wrong. I do reach out to my past clients from time to time, but I am not a cold caller. I believe in building a business that people call you because they trust you and they want to work with you. They hear about your reputation, and so therefore they're reaching out to you. So. Let's go ahead and kind of go over the course here. Basically it's broken down into three major categories: raving fan deal, getting them to refer you, and then getting them to move up with you. Now, each of these are really important, obviously, because if you want to turn and burn clients, you can certainly do that. A lot of agents do, and they're constantly prospecting 3 to 4 hours a day for God knows how long, every week, how many days. It's really it's too much for me. I want the phone ringing. I want people calling me, and so everything I'm going to show you today will basically have that in mind. So again, we're going to cover these three main topics: raving fan deal, getting them to refer you, and then getting them to move up with you. It's a lot easier than you think, but it does come with planning. You just have to plan it out. And the biggest word I can tell you would be intentional. You have to be intentional with everything that you do to get the business that you're looking for. So going back here one second. So basically, let's start off with creating the raving fan deal. So every single buyer that we work with, we always want to have an initial planning session. Some people call them buyer consultations. I like to call them planning sessions. If you don't have a good plan in place, you're really planning to fail. So we always tell every single person that if you're going to buy a house, it's really important to have a really strong game plan. Oh, someone not have audio? I think everybody can hear me, hopefully.
Yep, yep.
Okay, good. So I always tell people, like, if I ask them the question, if you were to build a home, like, so this is, we always get the objection from people that, oh, I don't want, just send me listings. I don't need to come to the office. I don't need to do a Zoom session with you. And I always kind of press back on that, and I say, look, if you were to build a house, would you do it without architectural plans? And the answer is always no, of course, right? And so they basically, then you can say, well, then why would you do it, when you're trying to buy a house? And this type of market is the hottest market that we've seen in a long, long time. So let me see here. Okay. So, that's, to me, it's really important to kind of push back on that, and try to get that face to face. If they take the time to do that with you, then you know that you have somebody that's really a very interested buyer. And part of this business is qualifying. It's really the most important part. So, when I talk to clients or to potential buyers, I'm always going after their motivation. Why do you want to buy a house? And then I'm looking into, now that they have the motivation to do it, well, do they have the ability to do it? Can we, so now I'm getting them with my lender. That's a very, very important part of this process. I try to get them with a lender before we do this initial planning session, because nothing is worse than doing the planning session and then finding out that they can't do the loan. So I always tell people, let me have my lender give you a call. And first off, the question I always ask people, and ingrain this into your vocabulary because it's really important: do you have a lender that you absolutely love and trust? It's not do you have a lender you're working with? It's, do you have a lender that you absolutely love and trust? And the reason why I ask that question is because most of the time they're going to have to say no to that, because they're going to say, well, I don't know if I love and trust the guy, but he's good, well, then I say, well, I love and trust the person I work with. I refer them almost all of my business, and so I would highly recommend talking to this person. And that way you just have at least another person that is giving you quotes, and you can make sure that your existing lender is giving you the best deal. because my goal is to always get them the best pricing for the property or their interest rate. But it's also my goal is to get the loan, because if you don't have the loan and you don't control the loan, then you don't control the deal. And that other lender is trying to kick you to the curb and give and refer it to their agent. So in the event that I have to stick with their lender, if they love that person, then I'm asking for an introduction. So then I can call that lender and I can start building a relationship with them, because I believe they're less likely to kick me to the curb if if I'm calling them and talking with them and building a relationship with them. And so it's very important to do all of this before the planning session. That way, when you have somebody who comes into the office, you know that they're capable of doing a purchase, and now you can really spend the time to do the appointment correctly. And so, basically you can do these appointments online, doing Google Meet or Zoom. I do prefer face-to-face, because I do believe you get to connect a little bit better with them. And so it is important, in my opinion, to do that. At these appointments, I'm actually giving them a gift, by the way. So I have branded water bottles, branded coffee mugs. So when they come in, I'm always making sure they're leaving with something of value other than the amazing real estate advice that they just learned, but they have something that they can use. And when they're drinking water, they're gonna, which you have to do every day, right? Think about the branding there. I don't know why more people don't have branded water bottles. People see my logo every single time they take a sip. That is constantly, staying in front of them. So anyways, so during this meeting, we go over all the possible scenarios that come up during a real estate transaction. So think about this, when there's open houses, how many times have you heard of people walking into an open house and buying it? So we talk about that. We say, look, the person in the open house typically is not the listing agent. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it isn't. They're there to pick you up as a client. Educate your clients. Make them understand all the different traps that real estate agents put out there for them to become a lead. I always even tell them, like, stay away from stuff on Facebook and all this other stuff, because you don't want them going into other people's systems and then all of a sudden some slick salesperson gets them off track and steals them away from you. So it's really important to go over all the potential scenarios, and then that way you don't lose clients. A lot of people ask me, do I use a buyer broker agreement? And I actually do not. I do not use one. So that people are always surprised to hear that. I use something a little different. In fact, I do the exact opposite. I give them a commitment to them that I'm committing to, and I'm going to show that to you here in a second. So now in this planning session, again, you're being very intentional, and you're even asking for referrals, and you should have some kind of service commitment or promise. So what am I talking about? Let's go ahead and go to the next page. So this is my commitment to excellence commitment. So it basically has our mission statement, and then it has our commitment to you statement. I sign this right in front of them. I give it to them, and I also let them know that every vendor that we work with signs the exact same thing. Okay, and so what this does is it gives me an opportunity now to tell them about how committed I am to the whole process, because it's not just about selling a home anymore. If you're looking at yourself as just a salesperson for selling homes, then you're really shortchanging yourself and your long-term ability. What you want to really position yourself as a moving concierge. You're in charge of the entire move. You're here to help refer every single person that they're going to need for the transaction, plumber, painter, a junk removal guy, you name it, whatever you can think of, you got to start building those relationships with those types of people. And so over time, as part of your prospect, you should be looking at your database and your, or your CRM, your Facebook friends. If you're a part of a BNI group, you should be calling these people that you are going to need. And you're going to say, look, I am and I'm looking for a painter that I can refer all of my business to. And they're going to say, well, great, I'd love to work with you. I'd love to, do all of your clients' jobs. Okay, great. Well, let's go to lunch. Let's sit down and let's talk about it. Well, first, before that, I asked the question, do you have a realtor that you refer business to on a regular basis? If they say, yes, I do, my sister's a realtor, then maybe that's not the right person, because you want somebody who's going to be able to refer you business too. It's got to be a two-way street. So for that person, you might want to say, oh, really, what brokerage are they at? Because that's a great recruiting opportunity. But it's not a person that you probably want to send business to unless they're going to send business to you as well. So I'm basically setting up lunch appointments with people, and we're doing this over time. It's not something that you do in 1 week or 1 month or anything like that. It's just, once a week, I take somebody out to lunch. We talk about talk about business and how I can help them grow their business, and who do they know, because the guy that's a painter, how many times does he go to someone's house and they say, oh yeah, we're getting ready to paint, or we're painting the house and we're doing some remodeling because we're getting ready to sell it. Well, that's a great person to be, any handyman, painters, plumbers, all these people are great people to have for, giving us referrals, and vice versa. They're in there first before us in many situations. So that's kind of why I came up with this program, and I'm sure I probably stole it from somebody else back in the day. There's different types of systems out there like this. I think Brian Buffini taught something similar to this, and it's probably where I got this back in the day. So this next one that I want to go over is actually the one that we use for our service providers. And so one thing, with this, I show this to all my clients, and I tell them, I say, look, it's really important to me that, I'm more to you than just a real estate agent. I want to help you for all kinds of things. And, so if you need anything, you need an attorney, you need, a plumber, painter, whatever it is, give me a call, and I have a very great big database filled with amazing people. I always tell people, don't go on Yelp, call me. You're going to get better service because there's accountability, and when someone comes referred from me, there's an intense pressure on them to do a great job. And that's because I follow up. I'll call the homeowner. Hey, how did it go? Did that person I send over, did they do a good job? If they didn't, I kick them off the list and they never get a referral from me again. If they did a great job, I'm calling them up. Hey, I talked to the owner. Great job. You're going to keep getting referrals from me because you keep doing a good job. So, you're having that dialogue with these people. And I'll tell you, over time, you'd be surprised. I get so many referrals from these vendors, it would really shock you. And every time I put this in front of a vendor, they always say the same thing. Wow, nobody's ever done this to me before. Nobody's ever presented this to me. And so that, to me, what I like about that is it separates me with them, because now they walk away from the meeting going, wow, that Bobby really cares about his clients, and he cares about having things done the right way. And what do you think they're thinking? When I know of somebody looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I'm going to give it to Bobby, and that's what you want. You got to have a sales force out there working to find you business. If you can build that with every single person, just think about the every day. It's like, it's fun. You go to work and your phone rings and it's your friend saying, hey, I got a referral for you. That is the best feeling ever. Or you could do what everybody else does. Okay, you can show up at the office at 8 o'clock. You can scrub the expireds. You could scrub the FSBOs. You could get yelled at for hours by all these people who don't want you to call them. or you could do this, and this is for me, this is for my personality, it's much better system. And so that's why I really like, doing this. Now, as far as searching for a home, this is the next step as far as creating a raving fan. You got to be active in the search. Too many agents out there are just setting up people on these automatic emails, and they don't care. They don't care when you call, or when, it's like it's to me, every single week you should be reaching out to your hottest buyers, and making sure that they're seeing the listings. And also, if you see something, and one thing you should be doing too is these listings have to come to you. And when you open it up, if you see a special home, you got to reach out to them. Usually what I'll do is I'll send them a text message, hey, did you see the one I sent you this morning on XYZ Street, whatever it is? And so that, a lot of times they'll say, yes, I did. I was going to call you, but what happened? They got busy. And so that's why when you see something, you got to reach out. I always say you got to show, in order to make the dough, you got to show. So it's very important. You got to show houses in order to make money in this business. And so if you're proactive and you're reaching out to them and you care and you want to help them, they will pick up on that. But some people are shy, and they want to sit there and they want to look at these properties, but then, they're a little shy about, pulling the trigger on going out and looking at properties. So when you reach out to them and you let them know, like, hey, this is part of my job. This is part of the process. We got to go out there and look at homes, even if they're not the right homes. It's kind of like dating. You got to go on a bunch of bad dates in order to get to the right person, because then now, like, oh my God, I just went on 12 bad dates. This guy at least called me back. He took me to a nice restaurant and wants to meet my family. I mean, that's probably a good sign, right? So anyway, so long story short, be part of the process. Don't just send the listings and say, call me if you see one. Also, networking with other top agents, learning about inventory that is coming on the market, especially if they're really honed in on a specific area. Find out who the top agents are in that area. It's very easy to do using your MLS. And then, basically call those people and say, hey, I got a great client looking for a house in this area. They're pre-approved, ready to go. Do you have anything coming up? You'd be surprised what you hear. A lot of times they'll say, oh yeah, I got a few coming up, and then, now you're putting your client in a better position to get it. And for that other agent, they're happy to work with you too, because they know that you're working with with someone who's motivated, or else why would you be making those calls? So it's a win-win all the way around. Now, when you're out showing houses, definitely bring snacks, drinks, stuffed animals for kids, and don't sell. That's the biggest thing here. I think so many agents make the mistake. When we do the planning session, one of the things that I do say in the planning session, I ask them the question, what kind of service do you like? If you walk into Nordstrom, do you want the salesperson following you around and showing you stuff and telling you, all these great new styles that have come in? Or are you the type of person that just likes to browse? And so 99% of the time, they always say, I like to browse. I hate salespeople. And I say, good. That's our style too. We hate salespeople as well. We're here to advise you. And this is actually the opportunity for me, usually when I do the planning session, to basically let them know how the process is going to go, because I actually don't show a single house to anybody. I have a team, and basically this is what they do. They go out, and so what I say to them at this time, I say, look, Trisha here, she's going to be the one opening up the doors for you. Our style, when we're at these properties, we're just going to we're going to open the door, turn on the lights, and then we really just like to shut up. We like you to just look around. And if you love the house, and this is the pro tip, if you love the house, you need to let us know right then and there while you're in the house, because if you do, then I want the agent taking a video of the interior. I want them looking underneath all of the sinks. I want them looking for problems, because if we're going to be writing up an offer, we need to do it quick, and we need to have everything, our ducks in a row. And another pro tip, if you really want to connect with sellers, have an outgoing couple or whatever, a buyer who doesn't mind being on video. I've been doing this for years, and it's worked almost every time. I think I've maybe not gotten a deal once from this. When you have a buyer inside of a seller's home or in their backyard saying, now on video saying, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm here at your home. We've looked at a lot of homes, and we've realized that this is the one. We want to make every effort to get this house, and so we're going to put together a strong offer. We're pre-approved, and my mom lives down the street. We have a high desire to be in this neighborhood, and we hope that you will pick us, for the offer. I can't tell you how many times this has worked, and if they are not outgoing, then I'm the one on camera, or one of my agents is the one on camera, again, in the home. Similar message, hi, my name is Bobby Martins. I'm here at your beautiful home at blank street, and I just wanted to let you know I just showed it to an amazing couple, and we're going to put together a great offer, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and so now you're selling your client with a video. They get connected with your client. I've been able to get contingent offers accepted with this. I've made sellers cry with this. So many great stories over the years. And so I tell people, and I warn people up front that this is something that we will ask of them. And so if they say no, that's fine, but it's just something that does work. And so sometimes people say no at first, and then they want to do it, and but it definitely works. So if you're not using something like this, try it, especially on the properties that have multiple offers. In fact, I usually only do it if it's a multiple offer situation. I'll record the video, but if I find out that there's no other offers, I don't necessarily pull that out. I really want to only pull it out when I know I'm in a bidding war situation or multiple offer situation, because I don't want to come across like we're wanting it too bad, or too much, because then my clients will have to pay more for it. But again, on the multiple offer situation, it's different. So, all right. So now back to the don't sell part. Don't be walking through the whole property and like overselling. People will push clients away from doing this. This is why people use Redfin. They want just open doors. That's all they want. They want you to open the door. You don't need to oversell. The property is going to sell itself. Now, when you put in the offer, you got to be a tough negotiator, and you got to let your clients know this up front. But with a disclaimer, when it gets into multiple offer situations, a lot of negotiation skills go out the window. Then it really becomes people skills and your ability to get the deal done with the other side. Recently beat out 23 other offers on a property in one of the hottest zip codes here in San Diego. And I did it with a video, and I did it on the counter offer. I sent the video with the counter offer. They countered everybody, not everybody, they countered 5 offers of the 24 total offers. And one of the offers went higher than their price. I was able to kind of get that out of the other agent. He also did some crazy terms, and so I had to match some of those things. But the big one was this. I said to the clients, I was talking to the sellers in the video. First, I got permission from the other agent. I said, hey, do you mind if I send you a video that kind of explains their situation, and it'll be something that you and your clients will want to watch. And in the video, of course, what do? I talk about all the great things that their listing agent did, because he was a great agent to work with during this process. And so I complimented him, I complimented them, the client's house, and then I told them all about my clients. And I also, at the very end, this is the kicker, and this is what got the deal. This is what I found out later that was the clincher. I offered 5% of my commission to go to the charity of the seller's choice in the seller's name. And so just the other day, I wrote a check for $952 to the Alzheimer's Association to fulfill that commitment. And I don't mind writing that check all day long because I got, I think the other check I got was, I think 18 or 19,000. So I will spend $900 to get a check for 18,000 all day long. And the kicker was my clients, they were crying. They were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that." So now I have a referral partner for life. I have somebody who's going to send me referrals forever. And when they're ready to buy another property, investment property, move up into a bigger property, they're going to call me. And that's what everybody has to understand. That's really the game changer when you have that type of momentum in your business. So let me see here. I'm going to take a break here and read the questions. When you do a video of yourself, do you address the listing agent or the sellers? I actually address both of them. And in fact, many times I always put some kind of compliment to the seller. To the listing agent. Let's face it. Realtors have egos. So if you're calling up a listing agent and you're like, "Oh, great listing, I saw the flyers that you put on that. That was really nice. I love that 2-page flyer you did. You did a great job marketing the property. I saw it on Facebook and I saw it, you really marketed it everywhere." Like that's what you want to be listing agents. And if you can say that to a seller in some way, shape or form, to let them know like, hey, your agent's doing a great job for you, I think that's a win-win as well. So and what listing agent on the planet doesn't want to show that video when you're complimenting him? And that's really the pro tip there. If you're complimenting the listing agent, the seller is going to see it every time. If it's just a generic video and it's just about the clients and how bad they want the house, the listing agent may not forward that. The seller may not ever see it. So just one thing to think about. Megan, fair housing. So I don't have a problem with that because I offer it to everybody. I think that's that's where you get into trouble. If I am just offering it up to only white families, then I have an African American family I work with that I don't offer it up to, then that's where I think you have the fair housing issues. So I know that there is some controversy in this area, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn because I do offer it up to every single client. Just helped a black family buy a 6-bedroom house. They had 10 VA offers denied with another realtor. They worked with me for 2 weeks. We got them into escrow on the very first house and got their offer accepted using a video, using a cover letter with a picture of the whole family. So I know that you got to be careful with that kind of stuff, but I do believe that it is in the client's best interest to connect on a personal level with sellers. So that's it. All right, so let's move on here to the next one here. So closing the deal, always come from a place of wanting a lifelong business relationship with the person. So you have to really understand that one philosophy there. If it means doing the right thing and giving up a piece of commission or doing something the outside the box to get the deal done and get them into the house, and that's ultimately what it's all about. Doing transactions, closing deals, and getting that repeat referral business. And so I never want a deal to ever fall apart. But I'm also very quick to tell people don't buy a house if I don't think they should. And people literally look at me like I have 3 heads when I tell them not to buy something. They think I'm doing some kind of reverse psychology thing. But if they are looking at a house that I don't feel is in their best interest, I'll be the first to tell them, I think we can do better. Let's move on. Because I don't want them to buy something that isn't going to be a good fit for them long term. I have a problem with it. I know that, there's if there's something better out there, I just can't live with myself and sell them something that is inferior to what I know I can get them. Especially if you have a seller that's pushing them around and doing things in not in the best way. So anyway, so always be okay with walking away with the deal. Don't be attached to the outcome of cashing a check. If you're attached to that outcome, you're not going to cash that many checks. If it's the opposite, if you're not attached to the outcome, I guarantee you'll cash more checks than you ever could imagine because of that philosophy. It really works. Always be one step, if not 3 steps ahead in the entire process. Once we get into escrow, I always do a phone call and I let them know exactly how the process is going to happen. People who have type A personalities, including myself, they need to know what's going on. They need to know, how is this going to work? And so too many realtors out there, they just kind of like, oh, no, don't worry about anything. We're going to take care of everything. It's like, no, but you got to have a conversation with them, walk them through, let them know what the next 3 to 5 steps are, and always do that in every conversation. One thing that we've started doing is creating some email templates with videos explaining each step of the transaction. So let's say you open up escrow. Well, now they're getting a video that says, hey, congratulations on opening up escrow. Here's what to expect during this whole process. My assistant Emily is going to be taking care of all of the paperwork. She's going to be guiding you through collecting the dozens and dozens of things that need to be signed. I'm going to be guiding you through the repair request, the home inspection, getting your loan in place, making sure all of that stuff goes through, so you're kind of just walking them through. Another email, hey, I'd like to introduce you to my my insurance agent, Melanie Martinez. You're going to need to get insurance in place, and she's amazing. I've been using it for 10 plus years. So I actually have a video that goes out where it's introducing her. And so then now my client, they're not guessing who are they doing business with. They can see with their eyes who it is, why they should work with them, why I endorse them, and this is somebody that's been in my BNI group for 10 plus, actually 11 years. I've been in a BNI group for 11 plus years now, and if you're not in a BNI group, start one, because it is a great way to get the vendors that you need for the program that we were talking about earlier. So, all right, so now closing gifts. I see on Facebook all the time, closing gifts or no closing gifts. And I wish there was a smack someone in the face feature when they do that, because anybody who does not get their client a closing gift is crazy. It is the dumbest thing you can possibly do. Someone is putting money into your pocket. You wouldn't exist in this business if it wasn't for the client. So why not show appreciation? I don't care if it's a $50 gift card to Amazon, something to show that you really give a crap about their business. It's one thing to say, I care about your business and I want your business, but it's completely different when you really care enough to do the right thing, get them a gift. So on the slide here, you see this little family with the key. So this has been a really cool thing that we've been doing. On the one side, it says sold. On the other side, it's a different color and it says home sweet home. So we do a lot of move up and move down transactions. And so we love taking people from one house to the next house. And so so when we're doing the key exchange, we prepare our clients. We say, hey, look, it's the big day. You're going to get your key. Make sure you're ready to take a picture in front of the house. We have a cool little key that we're going to have you take a picture with. And so we show up with a gift basket. I see one of the questions is, where can you get these closing gifts? I believe in branded closing gifts because then you get to write off the entire gift, because I think it's like 25 bucks is the rule on closing gifts on what you can write off. But if it is branded, then it's a promotional product. So branded water bottles, coffee mugs, Cutco knives. That's actually the big one. So we do a Cutco knife combo, and we put a water bottle, a coffee mug, some candles, a cutting board that's branded, and then a bottle of Vouv. Don't ever, don't get them the cheap shit. Don't get them La Marca. No, none of that stuff. Save that for your Sunday brunches. You got to get them real champagne. Either Moet or Vouv. Something quality, because that really makes them feel special, because a lot of people don't buy that kind of stuff for themselves. And so let's see, where can you get that key? So that key is online. You can get them just any print shop can do that kind of stuff for you. So very, very easy to do. What is BNI Group? Business Networking Incorporated. It's the largest networking group in the entire world. It's a sales force that's designed to help you find more business. So basically every week I meet at 7 a.m. We're doing Zoom calls now because we can't meet in person, but at 7 a.m. every single week, we basically talk about business. I have 45 seconds where I get to talk about what I'm looking for this week. And so then I have 45 people in my group that are now looking for people for what I'm looking for. And many times I do business with people in the group, but then, obviously the real gold is the people that they know, because there's a lot more people. How do you feel about discounting commish? I don't love it, and I try not to, but I'm all about volume. I want deals. If it's gonna stop me from getting a deal, then I will always make some kind of exception, or but I'll usually maybe dangle a carrot attached to it. So if I can go down to this percentage, can I count on you to bring me a referral by the time we close this deal? That's usually the question. But I'm not looking to, I'm not a 1%er. I'll do 4.5% listings all day long if it's well over $1 million. I'm in a market that has some pretty expensive homes, so I look at the total deal. If it's a move up and a move down, that's 2 transactions. I'm always going to be looking to help, but I'd actually rather give them money in a different way. If they have kids, if you want to know the best gift to give somebody, you ask your client, have you set up a 529 college savings account for your kids? Most of the time they're going to say no. And then I'm going to say, well, I would like to start one for them. Do you mind if I have my financial planner set one up, or do you have somebody that you'd want to set up? And I've set up probably a couple of dozens of these. So think about this. You got somebody who just sent you business or just worked with you. You're giving them money to their kids' college 529 account. That in today's value might be only $250, $300, but what's that going to look like 18 years from now, 15 years from now? That could be thousands of dollars. So I love doing that. I do it for my friends and a lot of my close clients. I don't do it for everybody, but it is something that I do like to do, and I have no problem adding to that as a way to say thank you. 529 savings plan, or college savings plan is the name of it. Someone just asked that. All right, home warranties as a gift. I don't love the home warranty as a gift idea. I want to give them something that they can see over and over and over again. So I make the sellers pay for that, because they really should. All right, so now getting them to refer you. Now, if you did everything right up until this part, this part's actually pretty easy. So before we go on to this next subject, anybody have any questions that want to ask right now? I'm happy to take a break here and have a question and answer session if anybody has any questions. All right, we got a bunch of shy realtors in the room. Just kidding.
I
Do
have
you
a
have any?
question for you.
Give it to me, Teresa.
All
How are you?
right. I'm well, thank you. Yourself?
Amazing. Thank you.
Okay, so in your little networking group, I find it's very hard to come across different vendors, contractors, etc., who already don't have a lot of agents they're referring business to. How do you get around that?
You won't ever, because you know the saying, if you don't know a realtor, or if you don't have a friend as a realtor, or if you don't have a, what is it? If you don't have a friend who's a realtor, then you don't have any friends. That's the joke. So everybody knows a realtor. So it's about you elevating yourself to be something different than the average realtor. And that's why I put some of these other programs in place to really just be a little different. And don't get me wrong, like I believe in all of this stuff 100%. Like I truly love people, and I want to make every single person I work with a raving fan. And I know that the only way to do that is to really, take it up a notch. You can't just do the average, run of the day business. You have to be different. If you haven't read this book, I strongly recommend it. I read it over 20 years ago. Actually, it was probably longer than that. It was like 30 years ago almost. Like when it first came out, I read it, and it was a very impactful book on me because basically what the book is about is all these different businesses who do things way outside the box. So imagine going to a grocery store and you have valet parking. Oh, you don't want to, take the kids through the store with you? Well, just drop the kids off at the little arcade. In the little, they've got someone there watching the kids at the daycare. So there's free coffee when you walk in. Those are the kinds of things that make people drive from miles around to go to that particular store. And so, with real estate, we can offer that same thing, but agents choose to not do anything different. Look at Uber. Uber killed it by just giving people water and mints. Simple thing, and they destroyed the taxi industry. So that's the kind of things that we can do in our business. That's why I started bringing drinks and snacks. I'm one that gets hangry from time to time. I think we all do. If you don't have food, if your sugar levels are low, you're not going to be in the best mood. So you got to make sure you have that stuff ready and available, especially when you're out looking at several properties. When will this class come back again? It's the fourth Thursday every month. So we will be back again. So, all right. So now we've got about 13 minutes. I'm going to go through the next two sections pretty quickly, but the lion's share of everything is kind of already, I've already gone through most of the stuff. So be intentional, ask for referrals. Now you're in escrow, okay? Once you get into escrow, you want to be asking for referrals. You want to ask them, "Hey, how are we doing so far?" When we sat down, 2 months ago or 3 months ago, we really committed to you to doing a great job. Are we living up to what we committed? And when they say yes, you say, "Well, fan frickin' tastic. I'm so happy for you guys. I'm like, it's just, this house is perfect for you." And oh, by the way, now that you're in escrow, you're going to notice, and I say this when they're in the initial planning session, you're going to know 3 to 5 people in the next 90 days that are buying, selling, or investing in real estate. It's just kind of a law. It's just you always end up hearing of people when you're doing something, other people around you are kind of doing the same thing. So if you hear somebody, or would you mind giving us a call, doing a text message introduction? You got to tell them how you want to be referred. I prefer to make it super easy. I just say, just say this: Bobby, meet Jessica. She's my neighbor. She wants to sell her house. Boom, done. So how simple is that? You don't need an email introduction. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Make it easy on them, and it'll really change the game 100%. So someone asked if I have a script for talking to sellers. I really don't have an exact script. I just usually will start off with a compliment of the listing agent in one way, shape, or form. I'll really compliment the heck out of their house. Talk about the how the attention to detail in the home, is obviously very well cared for. Those kinds of things. You got to stroke the ego of the owner. But the other part that's really important is the getting them to connect with your client. But the biggest thing is we can close. We're a done deal. They have to feel 110% that you are buying this freaking house and there's no way that this client's going to back out. That's the kind of feeling that every listing agent and every seller wants. That when they pick the buyer, they don't want to lose the buyer. Um, so getting them to refer, we talked about signing the service guarantee, but you're the one signing it, not them. Show them how hard you work. Client appreciation party, referral contest. So we haven't talked about this yet. Every single person who buys or sells a house, or they refer someone who buys or sells a house, gets a entry into a drawing. In this drawing, basically, it picks a winner for $2,500. Okay, so we give gift cards worth $2,500. They're Visa gift cards, so they're as good as cash, but we just don't obviously want to give cash. And so what we do is we every year we have a big party, and let me go ahead and the next page is a picture of one of our parties. And so we do a big party, invite all of our friends, our vendors. This is a great opportunity for our vendors to meet our clients and build relationships. And I also sell it as to my clients. I say, hey, this is gonna be a great way for you to meet some of my friends, some of my great connections. I've lived here in San Diego since 1984, so I've been really working hard building a great network over the years. And so and what's cool about that is a lot of my friends will end up being friends with some of my clients, and so that's a really cool thing too. And so when you're connecting people, that's amazing. Writing, do you think this writing via a card that they can hold on to? So I don't think business cards really work anymore, but I do have business cards. I like doing handwritten notes, and I'll send them the business card later. What I do most of the time is like if someone asks for a card, I text them my V card from my phone. I say, if you forget my name later, just punch in realtor and I'll pop up on your phone, because it says it in my V card, because people are going to forget my name. That's pretty normal. Anyone who
Bobby,
buys or sells in the same year, yes, buys or sells in the same year. Every year there's a new contest. Someone have a question?
yes, I do. What I was referring to was that card is when you're asking your clients that you're working with if they have anybody that they know is buying or selling. Do you also like hand them a card as you say that to them and just reiterate it so they keep that in mind instead of it going in one ear and out the other?
I don't. We follow it up with some emails as well. Just kind of, that's, they've already heard it from us probably 3, 4, 5 times by now that, we want referrals. So there's no, surprise there. But we do try and get a commitment from them that by the time we close escrow, that they're going to give us one referral. That's part of our little speech when we're giving them the commitment to you form. We're letting them know that we're committing to doing all these things because we want to have that lifelong relationship with you, and we want to be your realtor of choice. And so so basically from the very get-go, we're asking for referrals, and we try to get that commitment, like I said, by the time that we close escrow. And a lot of times I'll even say, if we don't get a call from you, I'm sorry, a referral from you by the time we close escrow, I'm going to think that we may have fell short. So I probably will call you and ask you where we fell short. And so that puts a little pressure on them to kind of make sure that they do get that referral to us. But I'm not one to like put them on the spot right now. Here you go, write down this person. I'd much rather just keep it simple. Whenever you come across somebody, just ask them, if you don't mind, introducing you to my real estate agent. He's the best. And they'll say yes, and then here you go. Here's a text message introduction. Boom, done. Now I got their phone number, and it's super easy for my client. They don't have to take out a pen and write it all down and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. So we only have a few more minutes here. So getting them to move up. Now, it goes back to the parties. If you invite them to the parties and you're a connector, then you're gonna stay in touch with them. And so every single year, I invite all of my past clients to these parties, and a lot of them do come. And staying in touch with them is important. But the other part of it is, don't call your client up all the time and say, "Are you ready to move?" I mean, like, if you did your job, you're not going to be selling them a house for a while. But you do want to give them information. So, constantly sending them updates on the market, but without the intention of trying to sell the house. That will come no matter what. But the one thing that when you do close escrow, always let them know, like, we look forward to the future. Maybe the next one's going to be an investment property. Maybe the next one's going to be a move up. I mean, so there's never too early to start planting the seed, and getting that buy-in. That, like, hey, especially when there's multiple offers. Like, I'll always tell people, look, we beat out 10 other offers for you to get this house. You know what that means, right? And they'll say, what? It means that when you go to sell the house, you have to use me, because I made this happen. But I do it jokingly, of course, because we don't necessarily earn the right just because we help them. So how we get the business later is by helping them over the next 5 to 7 years while they're living in that house. And that's going back to the commitment to you excellent, or to commitment to excellence program with the vendors. By providing value for years with vendor referrals, that's how you get that deal later on. So staying in touch, being a resource. Lunch dates is also a huge thing. People who break bread together do business together. They want to work with you. People always say, well, like, especially if someone, you find out a past client sold without you. It's the worst feeling. I've had it happen. Everybody has had it happen to them. But I do think that it happens because you forget about them, and so they forget about you. And so the way to avoid that is to show you care, take them to lunch. After the lunch date's over, write a personal note saying, thanking them so much for their time and their business, their friendship. That's how you're going to build a meaningful relationship with somebody. But then, again, it all comes back to, you got to always do the right thing and be in a place of contribution always, as opposed to, hey, I want to sell you something. I think, we have a bad reputation as an industry for good reasons. There's lots of slimeball agents out there who always just want to sell something. And, that's just, in my opinion, not going to work, in the long run. So multiple entries for multiple referrals. Yes. For the contest. That was one of the questions. They do get, like, I had one year, I had one guy buy 5 multifamily properties. He got 5 entries, and guess what? He won. The richest guy in the room won. It was not good. So anyway, so giveaway time. All right. So first off, here is the link for the survey. This is how EXP knows that I did a good job or not a good job today. Hopefully you guys all found value in what you learned today. This has really made my life easy, and has built a really solid business to where now I don't work Saturdays, Sundays. My team shows houses for me. All I do is list homes, train my agents, negotiate contracts. I do all the things that I love to do. Okay. And so if you guys, if you wouldn't mind clicking on this survey and give me great scores all around, I would greatly appreciate it. And question and answer. This is a great time for us to go ahead and chat here as well. And on this last page, there's some links here to a few different things. You've got the vendor program, the commitment to you program, and also my prospect sheet that I use for asking buyers and sellers, mostly buyers on this one, about what they're looking for and things like this. I created this prospect sheet over 10 years ago and still use it today. It is a very good tool. I ask all these questions before taking down a single objection. So while I'm asking the questions, if I come to an objection, I do not take down that objection until later. I find out everything first, and then I come back and I summarize what they're looking for, and then I tell them how I can help, and then I smack them for telling me that they are not in a hurry. Because right now, you as an agent have to be smacking people in the face when they say they are not in a hurry. They should be in a hurry. These rates are unbelievable. And if rates go down further, that means prices go up. That means that they would then get more. If they buy today, they get more equity into the property later on. Plus, they'll be able to refinance later on. If they wait, then they're paying more for the same property. Yes, they get a better rate, but they're paying more for the same property. So there has to be urgency out there right now. And so when people say that to me, I say, look, in the past, I might agree with you, but can I tell you why you're dead wrong right now? And I have no problem saying that to somebody because that's our job. If you walked into a doctor's office, you're not going to be mad at the doctor for telling you what like it is. You're going to want the candor. You want to know exactly what's going on with your health. It should be the same thing for your real estate health. You got to let people know what they need to do. So, all right, let's go ahead and open it up to any questions. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Hi, this is Merhaba Khalil from Boston, Massachusetts.
How you doing? I'm from
Good.
Boston.
Oh, okay. Um, how we can order the like on the card plate EXP?
I'm sorry, the what?
I saw the card plate name EXP on it.
Oh, yeah, that can't be ordered. I got that through the state of California. So you'd have to find an EXP plate that works in your state. So
Oh, okay.
if you contact your state, you can ask them if RE space EXP is taken, and if it isn't, then you can apply for that.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right, here is that link that someone just asked. That's the last link. I think that one might be the prospect sheet. How is San Diego market? I plan to move there in 5 to 6 years. Well, you call me, Victor, when you're ready to move out here. I'd love to have you on my team. um, as far as the market's red hot. I've never seen it busier. There's no inventory, tons and tons of buyers. Everything's getting multiple offers, and so it's a really good market. It's a little tough to get sellers to commit to selling because they're worried about where they're going to go, but we do a rent back in the same property that they sell for 60 days, keeping them in the property. I'm surprised. A lot of agents I hear show property or show a seller homes to buy without their home being on the market. That is the wrong thing to do. Like, don't ever do that. I tell people absolutely not. It's a waste of time for you to look at homes that you can't buy. You're just going to basically make yourself sick over it. So what we got to do is get your home on the market. We get it in escrow. Once it's in escrow, we do a 45-day escrow and a 60-day rent back. If I can't find you a home in 105 days, then I should quit selling real estate. And that's really what it comes down to. You're my hottest client as soon as your house gets into escrow. That's when you should be looking at homes and not a second sooner. Um, Someone's asking for the other. Is this not linking? Let me see here. I'll go ahead and put these in here. Anybody else got any questions? Let's see if this will work. There's one of them, and here's the last one. And again, this class is the last, or not the last Thursday, it's the fourth Thursday every month. So feel free to tell a friend and bring them next time. All right. Below from the screen. Still all right. Well, let's see. Anybody any other questions? And I'm going to put the entire presentation on here because this will have everything. This last link is what you want because it has everything. Okay. All right. Well, I work under Aaron Taylor. Aaron Mills, how you doing? I love Aaron Taylor. He is my favorite human being other than my children and my wife. You can tell him I said that. Love that guy. I met him when I was 19 years old and he really shaped my life. He was the first person I saw get into real estate and I followed him in. and now he's with EXP here in Vegas. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. It's a beautiful thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is it. If any of you need anything ever, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Reach out to me on Workplace. Get involved in the EXP system, the platform. This company is the greatest company ever. I've been at RE101. I've been at Keller Williams 10 years and 7 years. And I've been here for 2.5 years. And I'm blown away by this company and just love it so much. And that's why I have no problem volunteering to do this kind of stuff. I really do appreciate it. So, all right. I love you guys. And again, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Take care.